Wassenburg Medical Devices, specialists in endoscope decontamination. Kingston Hospital Day Surgery Unit, upgrading of endoscopy decontamination facility. The original department layout arrangement incorporated a single decontamination room configuration with top-loading disinfectors. Scopes were transferred between treatment rooms and washrooms via single doors. Design for the upgraded unit incorporated a segregated workflow. Used scopes transferred to wash area in covered trays via interlocked hatches. 2 double-bowl adjustable height scope sinks are used to wash and rinse each scope. On completion of the manual cleaning process, scopes are transferred to the WD-440PT AERs in trays. Processed scopes are unloaded in the clean area that is maintained at positive pressure to the loading area. Scopes are either transferred back to the treatment rooms in covered trays or returned to the dry 300 cabinets for storage before next use. First phase of the process is the transfer of used scopes to the washroom area. Each treatment room is provided with a transfer hatch for returning used scopes to the decontamination washroom area. Scopes are transferred in trays with red covers identified as contaminated. When the scopes are returned to the wash area, they are scanned into the tracking system. This identifies the scope location and confirms the manual cleaning process is in progress. Scopes are transferred to the adjustable height double sinks for manual cleaning, followed by rinsing in a separate bowl. Detergent is automatically dispensed in the correct volume to the wash sink by calibrated pump. Sink water temperature can be controlled using temperature indicators mounted above each sink. On completion of the manual cleaning process, scopes are transferred to the WD-440PT AERs in trays. Lid opening operation is quick and silent and hands-free using the foot pedal. The chambers operate independently. Manually cleaned scopes are loaded into an available chamber. All channels are connected to the individual circulating pumps using the specifically designed connectors and color-coded tubing. The channel separator is fitted into the valve housing. Each WD-440 has 2 chambers that operate independently, allowing scopes to be loaded or unloaded, whilst the other chamber has a cycle in progress. When the scope is loaded, the process is registered to the Process Manager system using the scanners to identify the operator, scope, patient and specialist to the machine number, chamber in use and the cycle number. On completion of the registration, the lid is closed and process started using the touchscreen. With the washing and disinfecting cycle in progress, noise levels are very low. On completion of the cycle, the disinfected scope is removed from the chamber into the clean area. When the cycle is finished, the operator scans their identification badge to complete the process, and all cycle data is downloaded to the server. Lid opening is hands-free using foot pedals, preventing the need to touch the outside of the machine. A printout is produced, listing details of that scope process that will be returned with the scope to the treatment room or dry 300 storage cabinet to form part of the overall tracking system. When loading, the operator identifies the vacant position using the status screen and scans their identification badge, followed by the scope barcode. This action opens the cabinet doors and identifies the process to the computer server as part of the tracking system. Surplus trays or equipment are returned to the loading area via the transfer hatch. Positive air pressure is maintained on the clean side. The The scopes are transferred either back to the treatment rooms or loaded to storage in one of the dry 300 cabinets. Scope transferred directly back to the treatment rooms via the clean corridor. Scopes are contained in trays with liners and green covers indicating clean, ready for use. The printout from the WD-440 and Dry 300, if applicable, are kept with the scopes for verification of the process and traceability. "40 scope storage places are provided in the Dry 300 cabinets. Scopes for the morning list are removed from the cabinet in sequence or expiry date order. Each cabinet is provided with a range of hanging brackets to suit the scopes being stored and specific connector blocks and channel connectors for each scope. Scopes can be stored for up to 30 days whilst maintaining post-wash and disinfect condition. When a scope is removed from a cabinet, that process is completed and logged to the process manager, linking the WD-440 process to the Dry 300 process for that scope by date, time and process number. A printout is produced from panel-mounted printer listing details of the process to form part of the tracking system. Each scope is identified to the patient in the treatment room as part of the tracking system. On completion of the procedure, the scope is placed into the tray and a red cover is fitted to identify the used scope. The tray is then placed in the transfer hatch. The Process Manager system data is stored on the hospital server and each item of equipment is allocated an IP address to interface via the network using RJ45 connections. All hospital scopes are identified on the system by barcode number with trained operator identifications. Operators can therefore access scopes from any machine, including those remote from the day surgery unit, in theatres or endoscopy department Dry 300 cabinets, as data is accessed centrally from the server. Any scope used in the trust can be processed in the day surgery equipment, and its process identified and stored for traceability. Historic data can be accessed and analysed by exporting to Excel, and engineering data can be analysed graphically or in tabular format. Wassenburg Medical Devices, specialists in endoscope decontamination.